Hello, we've been hard at work, so we have a few new extra features for you to play with. These are not new right now, because, well, the versions have been out for some time, so if you're following us on Twitter or keeping up to date with the Curse Forge page, you've probably already seen those versions. So the previous video was about 3.0.00, a lot of new features with the party system and so on, but we have 3.1, 3.2 and 3.3, which added quite a few features there, well, quite a few useful features there, and then we also have some bug fixes like 3.1.1 and 3.1.2, and I think well, whatever. The current one is at least 3.3.1, and that's what I'm using, and I'm going to show you what features we've added, basically. So, if you want to see when a version is released, follow us on Twitter, and we'll tweet about it, and so on. So first of all, I'm going to grab a few of these bags. Let's do it like that. So now, if you open a bag, you will get this screen here. So this is the title it belongs to. Well, its group here, and that's the up to the quest maker to decide. That had already been there. It's just that you haven't seen it. So this is apparently an okay but not great reward there, and it also tells us it's a 1.77% chance to get this reward, and it's chicken jerky, 8 of them. As you can see, we already received them, so this is just an information pane to show you what you just received. If I do it again, we can see, alright, we got some bees. That was from the same group, okay, but not great reward. Another chance to of getting it, though. And let's see if we can get some. There you go, not so good reward. So that was a bit of a troll reward, and it says here, hold shift for more info, which we can do, and there we go, sharpness file like that. So just a way of displaying what you just got. If you don't like this, like if you don't like it showing, you can just disable it in the config. If you really want to, you can also disable it on the server, then nobody will see it. If you for some reason want to hide the information, but I don't know why you would do that. So it's just a nice way of showing what you just got, so it feels a bit more like a reward there. I don't get too much good thing here, but of course if we went with something better, then, well, very nice reward, there you go. And we can hold shift for more information, but, well, it's not really telling us anything there. Right. So that's 3.1. Then we had 3.2, which brought us a thing here in the book. So now we have this thing. You've currently died 0 times. Click here for more info. So if I click here, I can see a lot of info. So here we have names of everyone that has been on this server. Well, currently I'm in single player, but I'm using the data from Forgecraft. So yes, a lot of names here, people that have logged on, and then we see numbers next to them, and this is how many times everyone had died. So this file is from before, well, the death counter was there, so that's why everyone is 0. But basically what it will do is count how many times everyone dies. So if I jump off the edge here, I'll die, and it will count that, and let's see. And there we go, I can respawn, I lost a life, I have no book. Let's see if we can find a book. There you go. And now if we open it up here, well, first of all it says you've died 1 time. And if I click here, I can see I'm in the top, I have 1 death like so, but also it tells you how you have died. So I've died once from the void and 0 times for everything else. Well, we can try that. I can get some lava here and pour it down there. Now I'll die again, and that wasn't so clever to do that in the middle of everything. But well, now I've died twice, and now it's going to show up that I've died, well, 2 times, 2 there, total deaths 2, but 1 time of lava and 1 time from the void. So what we have here is lava. Well, that's straightforward. If you well, go into lava and die from there. Fire is if you, well, burn to death, or if a fireball hits you and you die of that. Suffocation, you're stuck in a wall and can't breathe. Thorns, that's actually both if you get killed by a cactus and the thorns effect from, well, on the armor. It also, well, some other mods things like spikes and stuff apparently do thorns damage. Drowning, straightforward. Starvation, also straightforward. Fall, that's if you fall and hit the ground and get killed by that. Void, we've seen that. Crushed, maybe an anvil well, on your head, and you die from that. Explosions, pretty straightforward, a TNT or a creeper or something like that. Monsters, that's any other monsters, so if you get shot by a skeleton or slain by a zombie or whatever. Other players, if another player shoots you, kills you or whatever. Magic, that could be the wither effect, some potions and things like that. Rotten hearts, if consuming your rotten hearts, that's not really a death, but it removes a life from you, so that's going to count there. And then other unknown, which is, well, if we can't figure out which one of these other 14 it is going to count as other or unknown. For instance, an arrow from a dispenser doesn't go under any of these groups here, because you don't get killed by monsters, not players. So, there you go. Right, so that's that, but also, you can also click on other people and see their stats. Obviously, none of these persons will have a death now, because this information file was from before death counting got added, and therefore it hasn't calculated anything here like that. So you can just see there, so you can see, alright, what have you died of, and how many times have you died, and so on. And this is sorted depending on the amount of times the people have died. But then we have another quite nice feature here. You can't really see too much of it right now, but if I click show worst, it's going to say worst players here on top, and it's going to list everyone that has done their worst job. So the player that has died the most time of lava has died once from it, and that's me, of course. So if I hold over here, it's going to say that I'm first in that category. The same thing with the void. No one has died of any of the other types yet, but well, that's just a matter of time. Here it's going to list the top 3 players that has died from lava. So if I've died 3 times and that's the second place, then I'm going to get shown as the second place. If I died once, but that's not even top 3, then I'm not going to get shown there. Another thing you can do is show total. Then it's just going to add up it all with all the players. So how many players have died from void? Here it says 1 player have died this way from the void, but also the total is 1. So the first one there, or the one next here, that's basically the amount of players that have died from falling into the void, and then it also displays, well, how many times people have died from the void, and then how many different people have done it. Is 1 player have died this way. So that's just a way of it's not really connected to the quests, it's more connected to the hardcore part, so it can count how many times you die, because obviously we don't do pure hardcore where if you die you're out. You obviously have multiple lives. If you don't like the hardcore part, you can still use this death counter part, even if you're not in hardcore. You just don't enable hardcore. The only thing that won't work is the rotten hearts part, because, well, you can't consume a rotten hearts if you're not in a hardcore mode, and, well, it will still be there, but it will always be at 0. So there you go. Well, basically a death counter within the book, but also it displays the different types if you died, and it's very easy to navigate through. You can scroll here and click on someone and see how many times they've died. Right, so that's that. That was 3.2. Then from 3.3 we have another feature in the book, and if you go into the party window here, click here to open party window, it's like before, but we also have this thing at the bottom. So that's about all existing parties. You can just click party list here, and you're going to get to the party list. So like I said previously, I'm on single player now, but the data file is from Forgecraft, so here's some parties from there. So it's basically going to list all the different parties and show the percentage they are done, basically how many quests they have completed out of the total one. Well, their names, of course, how many players they have and how many lives they have. And this is just going to update automatically, so if somebody dies, it's going to update. If somebody completes a quest to get a life or whatever, it's going to update, and even going to rearrange the teams. So if you want to compete against the other teams, you can do so. So if you hold this spot at the top here, that means it doesn't mean you have the most amount of lives. As you can see, here we have 89 lives, here we have just 50, but it means you have come the furthest in the amount of quests. So maybe you have done a super big quest, but that's the only thing you've done, then you're going to be pretty far down. And then you can also use the pages here. So we have page 1 and page 2, and then if you click this arrow here, we'll get to page 3 like so, and then we can go back like that. So it will just add more and more pages that you can go back and forward and backwards in like that. And that was 3.3, and then we also released a ton of bug fixes, and now it's at 3.3.1 like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As long as we don't find any extra bugs, 3.3.1 is going to be the final version for the 3.x.x well, a group of versions. The next version will be 4.0.0, which will be a real treat for adventure map makers. So now we've been focusing a bit on this Skyblock experience. We've been focusing a bit on parties for like multiplayer and stuff. But like I said, the next time we will work a lot towards the adventure map experience like that. If you follow us on Twitter, you will probably already seen a few of the sneak peeks of what we'll have. We'll have tasks that, well, you don't bring items, you don't craft items or whatever. You're going to go to specific locations into specific dimensions. So maybe you will have to go to a specific village to trigger one quest, and then the next quest is to help someone there or whatever. And another thing we have been showing sneak peeks of is repeatable quests. You will be able to define well, if a quest is repeatable or not, when is it going to be reset and so on. But I'm not going to spoil exactly what we're going to do. Not everything is set in stone either. But if you're interested in getting informed about sneak peeks and so on, just follow us at Twitter at HQM Updates. And well, as always, no really TAs. We'll see when it's done, and then it's going to be done, and that's it. So I hope you enjoy this, and good.